My last question really then relates to your roles as senior leaders in your respective organizations. So you all have roles in guiding both your business and your teams through the current uncertainty and the changing customer behaviors that you're seeing. So you've all shared some really great examples of your business challenges and how you've been adapting in short timescales. So as business leaders, how has the challenge of having to adapt so quickly impacted on your decision making and people management? Kirk, perhaps you can just come in first, picking up on a couple of points that you were just talking about.
Yeah, listening today, I mean, it feels like we've got a lot of things in common. And it started, James mentioned it earlier, but we had very clear principles that we adhered to around making sure we focused on helping our customers and making sure our people were safe. Decision making had to be swift, it had to be clear, and we've taken advantage of that and are looking to keep up the momentum as we sort of focus on getting back to business. So taking that best of speed of decision making and collaboration right across the business, but also recognizing that we need to work differently and consider our own health, our own well-being with the pace of working and the demands that being remote bring on you and your teams. And I think to an extent, it's often the small things that people are missing, like the coffee machine chats or the catch-ups or the office chair or the desk. So we're investing more time in making sure that that works for our people, keeping people informed and close to what we're doing for our customers in very different ways. And that's just how we work. It must be very different, James, for your type of arrangement.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not sure I miss our coffee machine, if I'm honest. So I much prefer my coffee at home. But I think laying that point about decision making is that, I mean, we are having those board calls as a reference on a daily basis. We still do. And actually trying to move to some swift decisions when you think you've got 8 board members around the table and you're making some big decisions, but you've got to act quickly. What we found is that having those deep embedded values in our organization always gave us that casting vote. It was always that opportunity that if ever we got to a point where we weren't quite sure what that next step was, you'd always go back to, okay, is this doing the right thing for our people and our customers? Ultimately, that always gave us the casting vote, which has been great and actually has been now embedded into all the conversations we have as an organization all the time. So that's probably one big thing. And the other thing is, again, alluding to the point of things are evolving and moving at a rapid pace, is that we're trying to make sure that we also give our teams autonomy to make decisions. So where we are right now, the budgets that we set last year are out the window. We're resetting those, as I'm sure every other organisation has done as well. And we're trying to say to our people, as things evolve and change at the pace they are, let's not be afraid to make some decisions and do stuff. Let's just get on and do it. Let's not be afraid to fail and learn quickly, which perhaps we've not done in the past. I mean, we have to say now is about let's try and get uncomfortable with the uncomfortable, because things are moving so quickly. You can make a decision today and tomorrow it's changed. So we're trying to make sure as well we give our people the autonomy just to get on and make some of those decisions. So they're probably the 2 big ones from our perspective. And I don't know how you found it, Tiffany.
Yeah, completely agree, James. I think, waiting until you've got all of the perfect information before you make a decision might make sense during normal times. But I think what we've learned in a very similar way is, we don't live in a perfect world. There's constant change. And so you need to make decisions, really rapidly with imperfect information and be prepared to kind of act fast, fail fast, but just make a decision and move forward. I think there's been a really interesting twist actually in all this, because although at SAS a lot of people did used to work from home quite regularly, I think there's always across a lot of organisations this perception that you're working from home quotation, and that people won't be necessarily focused and they'll be watching daytime TV and so on, that you might lose productivity. And there's also been this view that, if you want to collaborate, you have to be in the office, you have to be around the coffee machine or the water machine to actually have those conversations. But I think we've actually seen an increase in both productivity and collaboration as people have been working at home, which has been really interesting. And so actually you get a shift in focus when you're looking at people management, away from productivity, but actually how do we help people manage that work-life balance? because it's so much more difficult when work is at home. You can't leave work because it's just there. So managing our work-life balance has become a lot harder. But I think, you know, one really, really positive thing that I believe has come out of this is we've all become a little bit more human. I see this as every time you're on one of these calls with work or on a conference call, you're actually inviting people into your home. You know, we've all got, you know, everybody's looking at people's backgrounds and so on. But, you know, as Kirk said, we've got dogs and kids and husbands and wives and all sorts of things going on in the background. So, you know, I think, you know, as organisations, we've all become more human. We've all got to know each other just a little bit more because you're kind of seeing each other in your home environment, as it were. And I think that's a really positive thing, and I hope that really continues as well.
That's great. Thank you for finishing on such a positive point, Tiffany. So thanks to all of you. Now,